Hi everyone! Today I am happy to be participating in the Parcels and Petals video hop. This is the first time I've done a video hop, and it's the first time I've done any kind of collaboration with these group of demonstrators, and it's really exciting to make new demonstrator friends and get to know different styles and different techniques. And I looked at their blogs. They're really fun, so I hope that you will continue along the video hop and check out all the different videos with the Parcels and Petals stamp set. I was super happy to join this hop because I really like the Parcels and Petals stamp set a lot, actually, and I have done a few videos on it already. So you can check out those too if you're looking for even more inspiration. I did them about a month back, so you can check and see what they are. And one of them was on how to make the box that comes with the stamp set bundle in different sizes. So I did a video showing how you can do the traditional size that the box makes, but you can make it even longer, and you can also make it shorter. So it's really a fun little box. I think it's a fudge box. That's what I'm calling it. I've opened and closed this one a million times because I think it looks like the kind of boxes that the little chocolate shop in town gives their fudge in. So it's a nice little box. It opens up like that and tucks in on the sides, and you can flatten it and bring it places, which is nice. So I really like this box style. I think it's super cute and fun. I like that it's not too big because you can use it for some cash or some little gift cards, or you can put some chocolates in there and it's not going to break your bank trying to fill it up with stuff. But it's also not too small. Sometimes you make little boxes that are so small you wonder, what can I possibly fit in that? So it's a really nice size box. I hope you'll give this a really good look over. I'm going to show you the dies. Here's the stamp set. One thing I saw about this stamp set that drew me to it right away were the sentiments. Actually, I loved that it had a birthday because that's what I use the most. And my second, actually these might be tied, my second most used one is thank you, and that's because I send thank you cards to my customers and things, so I use a lot of thank you and a lot of birthday. But I also like this one, you did it. That's great because you can use that for graduation, or someone got their driver's license, or there's just so many things you can use. You did it, you're the best. Those are wonderful. Or somebody loves you lots and lots. Just give someone a little hello, and that's really nice. I love the sentiments that go with this stamp set. I think they're so useful. I've grabbed this birthday one. It's a great size. I've used it on cards without the rest of the stamps. It's just the perfect birthday stamp. So I mean, just this birthday stamp alone is awesome. But they're all great. And this die, this little stamp set, it's really fun for borders. And another thing I love is this, because I like to watercolor, and so the style of this stamp drew me to it right away. So this stamp set screamed Beth to me. I bought it with the very first order that I put in from the new catalog. So I was happy to join this hop. These are the dies that come with it if you buy the bundle. And you've got the box die, but there are so many other wonderful dies that come with it. There's a nice couple tags or labels that are really nice size, and they fit the things that you can get. Not the birthday cheer. This one does, but this one doesn't. But the thank you does, little something. These fit these nice little label dies. And then you've got this really pretty fancy die. It's kind of a frilly little lace die, and you can use it as it is, or you can layer it, so you can have maybe some white lace with black piece peeking out underneath, or two different tones of color, so that's really fun. And then you've got the little strips here. This one adds little holes, like little eyelet holes to your cardstock, and that could be fun, a little trim on a card. And this one looks like stitching, so you can add that. And then here's another eyelet that you can add like in the corners of your box. And this is a really nice tag topper. So you've got a lot of great dies, even without the fact that it's a box. You've got a lot of great dies. I love little boxes. I think it's nice to give a little box to a teacher or a coworker or someone who did something, maybe a neighbor did a little something for you. So I love little boxes. So anyway, this is a Beth bundle for sure. And so I would like to show you how to make a few cards with it. And a box, of course. First up, I'm going to show you what we're not going to make, because I've already done videos for these in the past. This is a card that I made a while ago, and here it uses that fun little label with the stitching on the side and a couple of the stamp sets. And here's another one that uses that little lacy die, and I did kind of a blurred watercolor look. I love to watercolor, so I just drawn to that. So these are cards that I've done before. I've made lots of boxes actually, and I don't have any more. I've been using them, so I like to use up the boxes, otherwise my room gets a little full of boxes. I think I have one, yeah, I have one left from that I made previously. I love crumb cake, little brown paper boxes, little packages, and I like that. And this new ribbon, it's the terracotta tile linen ribbon, which is really fun. And there's a tag I made with the tag topper. So this is the box that comes if you don't do any alterations to the die, and it's a really fun little box. Anyway, these are the ones we're not going to make together. Now let me show you what we are going to make together. We're going to make this fun little box. I'm using a lot of little pieces from it, and I wanted to do something different. I use the tag topper a lot, and I always use it on a tag. So I thought that I would try something different. I wanted to use the tag topper die in a new way, and so I'm using it as a little tie together belly band. So we're going to make a box using that idea of the belly band. And then we're going to make a card using the idea of the belly band. And I think that is a really fun way to get even more use out of these dies, so you can see that you can use them for not just a tag topper, but also as a fun little belly band. So we're going to put these two together. Another little thing I want to show you is, maybe you're thinking, Beth, we don't sell ribbon like that. What are you doing? But we do, because you can make ribbon any color you want with some of these ribbon choices that we have. Here's the inside. Isn't that cute? I love that birthday cheer. And then it matches the box. If you wanted to give somebody a little combo, you can. And I don't know if you can see in the video the sparkle. I've kind of brushed it with the, splattered it with the Wink of Stella, and I wanted to really bring out this little metallic thread in the ribbon. And when it's together in my home, I can see that sparkle and shimmer, and I see it nicely playing off of the ribbon, but I don't know that that shows well on video. But anyway, try it and you're gonna see it in person and you'll really like it. So let's do, I think we're gonna do the card first because it's pretty quick. So for the card, you need some basic pieces here. On the inside, I am using 2 pieces of cardstock, Night of Navy, and I'm using shimmery white. I love, love, love shimmery white. I use it constantly. I use it almost as much as Whisper White, and it just has that really pretty shimmer, and it looks really great when you add little water effects to it. So I'm using shimmery white. You can use Whisper White if you like, but then don't do the little aqua painter step that I'm going to show you. So you've got shimmery white and Night of Navy are your inside pieces, and then the belly band, that measures 2 by 8.5, and then you're going to score that at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. So it's 2 1/8 from both sides. That little 6 3/8, if you use a Stampin' Up trimmer like I do, it's like right in the corner of, it's in the little hinge. So if it's easier, do 2 1/8 from either end rather than have to look at that little corner. That's my little tip for you. And then my card base is 5.5 by 8.5, and normally I would score that right down the center, right? But this is going to be a gatefold, so we're scoring at 2 1/8 from either end. Again, it's that tricky little 6 3/8. If your cutter shows that number, great, go for it. But if not, do 2 1/8 from either end and you'll get to the same place. All right, so let's go ahead and put this together. First, let's do the stamping. I'm going to start with the inside piece. Now I wanted to do different colors on my flowers, and I've seen people cut these apart. I can't do it. I'm a little bit chicken. So I am going to use markers and marker my stamp images. I like to start with what I think is the lightest color, and I'm going to go with Coastal Cabana for that one. It's kind of a toss-up between Coastal Cabana and Calypso Coral for this card. So I'm going to go with Calypso Coral next. And Night of Navy. Now the Night of Navy is going to also be my splatter. I wanted to use Night of Navy across all the splatter, even the ones next to the Coastal Cabana and the Calypso Coral, just for some continuity. I liked it better when it was all Night of Navy. I love using my markers to ink up my stamps. Okay. There we go. Now, you might think that looks a lot, excuse me, different than my card, and that's because I went over it with an aqua painter. I really love blending it out with an aqua painter. I think it adds just that little watercolor touch to it. So I'm going to show you how I did that. I just take an aqua painter, I just slightly damp. You're not adding any ink or anything, and you're going to just wet the ink. And I like to drag it towards the center because then I feel like it's giving a nice dark center, like it's the dark center of the flower. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with all the colors. It does start to dry fast, so you may not see as much. The navy just really shows up amazingly well with the watercolor added. So just kind of blending out your petals. If you wanted to, you could go in and add. I will on this one just to show what I'm talking about. As you see, I watercolor with my ink all the time. My lids are always full of ink. You can add some color, just kind of pop it in there if you wanted to the centers of your flowers. This kind of gives it a really nice look, don't you think? And then I went in with the leaf stamp from the stamp set in Granny Apple Green and added some leaves. Just wanted a little I love the Granny Apple Green, I have to say. It's probably my favorite newer color. And I just wanted to add just a few. Maybe that's enough. Yep. Okay. And I'm just going to soften them so they don't look different than the stamps. Kind of give them a little watercolor look. Alright, so that's so far the inside. And now I'm going to add that birthday cheer to you all year. And that I'm going to do in Night of Navy. There. Isn't that pretty? I just love it as is. So now we're going to go ahead and add it to our card. I'm going to let that navy dry. The navy kind of smears a little bit, I have to say. So I'm going to work on this part here. So for that, I need to clean my stamp. Using the new chamois, loving that, as you can see. Look how dirty it is. And I just rinse it under water. And you're ready to go. Look, my ink is off. I'll do it one more time. I probably should rinse it under water again today. I haven't in a while. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp up the same flowers, but this time we're just going to do tone on tone in the Coastal Cabana. I suppose you can go all the way across the back if you wanted to. Kind of painted myself into a corner here. I got a dead spot, but that's okay. No one's going to see that back. There we go. All right. Okay, hopefully that has given it enough time to set. And we're just going to mount these two onto each other. Okay, now I want to flick this with the Winkostella. So let me find my Winkostella. If I could zoom out and you could see my whole desk, you would say, whoa! It looks really nice and tidy right here. Alright, so because it's a gatefold, I'm going to do it this way so I can make it nice and flat. Now how I do it is I like to squeeze not above the card, because you never know, you might get an ink explosion. And then you just want to flick it. And I put it in the lid and flick against the lid. Can you see that, hopefully? Now, you can take a Q-tip and clean that off if you so desire. I'm kind of a sloppy stamper, I have to say. All right, now let's work on our belly band. I'm going to let that dry and put it aside. Now, I've already scored this at 2 1/8 from either side. And then we're going to use the die from the collection that makes the tag topper. And what you're going to do is you're just going to cut it like so. You're going to layer it just at the top, so it just covers, so you get that nice curve, but no farther down. I guess it's okay if you do, but then you won't have as much overhang. You'll have a bigger gap. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to run over to my cutting machine and crank that out, and I'll do both sides, and I will be right back. Okay. All right, there we go. And now you're just going to wrap it around. Now I wanted to add a little bit of detail, so I added some fun elements to the ribbon, and I added a little bit of frilliness, I guess, to the belly band. And how I did that, and here is the little frilly piece that I cut out, and that is that die that comes with the same set, and I cut it in half, right down the middle, like so. And I just added a little bit of glue. Now this is a really tiny little frilly piece. I still have some of this two-way glue pen, and I really like it, so I'm using that. Now if you have the little fine tip glue pen, you can use that. You can even use the Tombow liquid glue and a sponge dauber and put it on top of one of these silicone mats like I've got mine, and then any of the little pieces of glue that goes in the cracks are just going to end up on this silicone mat. You can just wipe it clean. It's really kind of nice. So that's a good way to ink it up, or glue it up, I should say. You're going to go right on that score line, like so. And I apologize for the darkness. There's a storm, and it's not forecast to leave anytime soon, and I have to get this video done for the block hop. Luckily, the lightning is done because it was really loud. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing, because it's tone on tone, so it's a little difficult to see. And do the same thing on the opposite side. So now you've got this really frilly, pretty added element, kind of elegance to the card. And then we're going to do that ribbon. So I used about 12 to 13 inches of ribbon. I ended up cutting 13, and then I figured that way I can trim the ends. And let me show you how I did it. Now, the best way to color the ribbon is with the blends, Stampin' blends, but they don't make a Coastal Cabana stamping blend, so, which is a bummer. Maybe they will. They keep adding new colors every catalog, so I'm really excited about that. So I'm hoping to get a Coastal Cabana. And so what I did is I just ran a strip of Coastal Cabana marker. Now the reason why blends are better is that they just have good coverage. You're going to see the difference when I'm doing it. So you're going to start on one end and just kind of give yourself a nice Coastal Cabana stripe. And this little marker, it's a water-based marker. It seeps in nicely, but it doesn't give a lot of even coverage, which is why I figure a thin stripe would be okay. But if I was to color the entire ribbon with Coastal Cabana, it might look a little bit sloppy. You can probably even it out and play around with it a little bit, or maybe use an aqua painter to apply and your ink pad instead, and then you'd get some nicer results than a marker. But because it's only this thin strip of Coastal Cabana, I think we're going to be okay with this marker. So go all the way down. the line. And you're going to see how much easier it is with the blend. So that took lots of strokes on top of each other. And then I'm going to use my Night of Navy dark marker. I'm going to use the brush tip. You can use either tip, but I think the brush tip is easy. And you're just going to go right down, and it's dark and the coverage is full. Okay, it goes through both sides. And I need one for my box and one for my card, so I thought I'd show you one, and I already have this one ready. So let's go ahead and finish off the card. Go ahead and close your gatefold and place your belly band behind. And make sure your little lacy area stays. Now you could glue this down if you wanted to so that they don't have the opportunity to remove it. I think that I'm going to leave it loose, and that way they can slip the belly band on and off without having to untie the bow, and it's up to you. And then we're going to trim off our excess. There. And there's our card. Now the box is going to be super easy as well. See, if you don't attach it, you can slip the belly band on and off. It's up to you how you want to do that. There. Okay, let's do that box. Now I've done a lot of the box ahead of time, so it won't be as long. I've already cut it out. You need 2 of the box die to complete it. And the first thing you want to do, let me find my bone folder, it's buried. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and burnish all your score lines. It's just going to make putting the box together that much easier. Let's see, flap. Good to know that the point comes out towards you, so when you're folding that, you can fold it the right way. Okay, I think I've got them all. So I like to use tear tape on my tabs because I get very inky and messy. So that's just one less thing to get messy with. I am going to have to use some liquid glue on this project as well, so it's nice to have some on hand for the closure at the bottom. Okay. Oh, I should stamp first before you put it together. Do your stamping first. I almost forgot. I got so excited putting the box together. So we're going to use this stamp right here, and it was designed to fit exactly on the side of the box. And I'm going to do that tone on tone with Coastal Cabana. And make sure you know which side is up. The little swoosh at the bottom is at the bottom. That is the bottom of the box, so if you want your petals to be facing up. Should have probably done this before folding all my sides. Then you get a nice flat piece of cardstock. Oh, that worked out all right, but I got a little schmutz right there from the cardstock coming up on me a little bit. All right, so stamp before burnishing all your folds. All right, now you're going to put it together. Alright, so I like to roll my excess edges of tear tape over the sides of the cardstock. And it's really simple. You just kind of roll your finger over the stuff that's hanging over. Okay, line up your lines here. Do not line up at the top because there's a tiny divot there. You want to line up your fold lines. here and here, not the top. See that little dip? Now to fold it, an easy way here is to fold this flap in, and then you're gonna kind of lay it down. It should line up nicely because you've got your other side nicely lined up. There. And then open it back up, and you're good. Now the bottom is the tricky part. It's easy once you've done it. So I'm just gonna familiarize myself because I made this first sample box a few days ago. Now on the bottom you want these little wings. You say, what are those for? Flap them outward, like that. And that's where you need the liquid glue. Place the smaller ends in, downward, and then add some liquid glue on those little wings, little triangular shaped piece. And then kind of in one motion, you're going to be flattening, see, the box while pushing these in. So you're going to be kind of tilting it, like parallelogramming it, and pushing these in at the same time. See? And I'm going to hold it for a second. So you see how those wings kind of attach themselves to the piece that was there. And just pinch it closed, just for a moment. Maybe play that in slow-mo. That is it to the bottom. So you're going to parallelogram it while pushing down the wing, and the wings are going to line up where they need to go. See? And they've attached themselves. So this way you can still hold the box closed. You can pack it up in a suitcase or in your bag and fill it later without smushing the box. You don't have to worry about ruining it on your way to the office, and you're going to fill it up with some candies when you get there or something. It's going to be nice and flat, and then when you're ready, just open it and it'll lock into place like this. And then pull out your corners, and then they tuck in right here in those little pre-cut little tab. See, isn't that nifty? So I love the box in that, it folds nice and flat. Now, sometimes this happens where the tip doesn't want to go in there. There we go. So there is the little chocolate box. I'm calling it a chocolate box. And now the belly band, I'm going to speed up and do kind of a fast belly band because you don't want to watch all of this painting again or stamping. You can do it either way. I will score it though. I want to show you. It's easy to score the belly band. Now how I got the measurements is I just measured. This is 1.5 inches and this is 3.5 inches. So you're gonna, and all you have to add then is an overlap for your part to go together, and this is 3.5 inches, so I'd cut it in half. So what I've got here is a piece that's 2 by 10, and then I'm going to score it at 1 3/4. And then I needed another 1.5 inches to go up the side, so you can either bring your score line to 1.5 inches, or I've also measured that at 3 1/4. And then here's that tricky one again, that's 6 3/4. So what I do instead is I look at the score line. Now actually the 6 3/4 is on the arm. It just barely makes it onto the arm. So you can do that. And then 8 1/4. And again, you should have stamped first, silly me, because you don't want all these little divots. It'll be all right. I'm going to go ahead and stamp. I'm going to fast forward while I stamp. You can see the magic of TV, magic of computer, and watch a very fast stamping. Okay, I've got my painting all done and my stamping, and I've cut the ends just like I did on the card with the little tag topper. And I also made a little something label. And all I'm going to do there is, because I'm putting it on top of a similar color, I'm going to sponge the edges with Coastal Cabana just so it sticks out a little more. Oh look, I didn't give it time to dry and I smeared it. I'm gonna not make you watch me make another one. I'll have to fix that later. Okay. So to finish that, all I did was I put a hole punch on one end. And I'm gonna wrap the box just like we did the card. And then we're going to thread that ribbon that we colored. I'm also going to stick our tag. And tie our bow. It's as simple as that. I hope you liked the projects. I hope you like the box and the card, and I hope that you continue on the hop and check out what everybody else has come up with using this stamp set and this die collection. And remember, if you want to see how to make the box longer or shorter, you can check out a past video on my channel that shows how to elongate and change the size of the box. And I also have videos on some other cards using the stamp set. This is very similar to what we've done here, actually, now that I see that. Well, I knew it was, but very, very similar. Nice little gift set, too. But I just really wanted to change it up and show you this belly band idea. So I think that's really fun. If you're a U.S. resident and you don't have a demonstrator, you're looking for one, I hope that you'll use me. I always send out a thank you card and with every order, and I also have a rewards program. So you're a frequent buyer, you can download my tracker and keep track of your points and get free stuff, free stamps, sets, and that's really fun. It might get you those hostess sets maybe you like that you never quite put an order in large enough for, so you can get hostess sets and things like that with my frequent buyer rewards program. And I hope that you will check that out. And feel free to ask any questions there. And that's it. Thank you so much for checking out this video hop, and I hope that you will continue back again. Subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again and again. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.